All right, well, so I'm going to give you for the people who are new to me, the kind of short story about me. And I'm going to try.
I looked at your website.
Oh, good, okay. And I'm going to try my best to keep, to not do as much lecture. Because you guys can go to my website and you can go to YouTube and see tons of content. Like, I want, for the most part, for tonight, not be as much content delivery, but I'm going to do a little bit to set everyone up for success. So let me first give you the flow for the evening, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my background for those of you who are new to me, and then we'll go into it. So flow for the evening. First part, I would just want to share a little bit about what's going on planet Earth. Anyone noticing some wild, funky stuff happening? Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on planet Earth with what's called Ascension and the shift of consciousness that's happening not only globally, but intergalactically, universally, across different timelines. We'll explain that a little bit. Then I'll tell you a little bit, Q&A. We'll do Q&A, anything. There's nothing off limits. And then, because even if I can't answer it, usually I can just channel something right through or access consciousness and higher level of consciousness, and we can get an answer. Most of the time, on the spot, I can do that. And then the third part, we're going to do a meditation and healing, and we have some singing bowls to start us off in our meditation. And the healing will be based on your requests. I'll walk you through it, but you'll see, you'll be able to ask for healing on pretty much anything, and it'll be channeled through for the collective, for the group who's here, and for people who are listening in replay as well. The energy will be live. In other words, it's coming from source, and whatever other beings, benevolent beings show up. We have angels show up, and interstellar beings, galactic shamans, star family races who are totally benevolent. They show up. Whenever there's a group gathered, they just start showing up. And Jesus showed, all kinds of beings show up from the non-physical and immediately identify, and then they'll tell me what they want to provide for our group, just based on whatever comes up. That will be the third part. That will be energy healing, yeah? And it's all based on free will. So if at any point you hear anything that you don't want, you just in your mind will say no thanks to that. But it's all beautiful. It's all loving. And then we'll close off with a little bit of like 3-minute sound bath, 3 to 5 minutes of sound bath, yeah? And I'm thinking it's going to be almost 3 hours. Based on how, I'll check in with you guys as we go. You know, like if you had enough, too much, want to go longer, kind of thing. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let me give you, for the new people, a little background. So my name is Lori Ann Spagna, and I am a channel, an Ascension guide. Do you guys know what, for the new people, do you know that word Ascension? Yeah? Okay, good. So I'm an Ascension guide, which means I'm here to assist through this evolutionary shift on planet Earth. I'm an animal communicator because I love animals, and I find that they have so much wisdom to share with us, and they have really expanded consciousness about things they can really teach us and help us with. I'm an intuitive. I don't typically use the word psychic because I don't usually do prediction, but for sure I can access information from the non-physical realm and translate it really well. I'm really good at being a translator for the non-physical realm. And what else do I do? I'm a healer, right? So I'm just really working as a facilitator for the non-physical realm, usually straight from source. I go to the highest, clearest, purest aspect of consciousness, which is the original source of creation. Whatever word we use for that is fine, but it's, to me, creator of all that ever was, all that ever is, all that ever will be, that source. And I just use and access that information, that energy, that frequency of consciousness, of pure love consciousness, and I act as the facilitator and the translator for what he wants to bring through based on the collective. That's what I do. And I've been doing this for more than 20 years now, but for 10 years as a professional. So, okay, that's kind of my background, right? And for anyone who's listening who doesn't know me, my website is lorispagna.com, and there's lots of great free gifts there you can get. So, okay, that kind of explains that, yeah? All right, I'm probably going to sit down because it's a small group, and I don't think I need to move around as much.
Want a comfortable chair?
What's that?
Want a comfortable chair?
No, this is good. I'm happy. All right, so let's just, what I'm going to do is just bring in a little bit of just intro info in terms of the shift for some people who probably don't really know. So right now what's happening on planet Earth is there is an acceleration of time, an acceleration of space, and an acceleration of consciousness. This acceleration, we're noticing it. Has anyone noticed how time seems to be speeding up? Yeah? Hello, come on in. And come on in. And there's an acceleration of our consciousness. We're all on planet Earth becoming more conscious. We're starting to become more aware of whatever it is we're conscious of, whether it's divine source, whether it's angels, whether it's our relationship to one another, whatever it is, right? Make sense? Hi, you guys. Come on in. Welcome. We just started. Hello. Hello. Welcome. So this acceleration is really what we call the ascension. So the ascension is an evolutionary shift of consciousness that's happening across all aspects of our reality. So that means it's happening in terms of our financial experience. Can everyone see the money situation on planet Earth is changing? Can we see that? You guys? Okay, so it's happening in terms of our spiritual growth. So humanity, based on our choice, if we're choosing it, becoming more spiritual. That does not have to do necessarily with religion at all, necessarily, right?
Sure.
It's happening geographically. Our Earth is changing. Our geographical climates are changing. So that's an ascension aspect. It's happening politically. Can we all agree that our politics are unlike anything we've ever experienced before? It's happening galactically. Let me go, this is not just limited to Earth. It's happening in our entire galaxy. So that's what I mean when I say galactically. Other planets in our reality are also having similar kinds of accelerated experiences. Yeah? And then also, if everyone could just turn your phone on, at least to buzz, or entirely off. So this is what we call ascension. It's happening across all time and space, all realities. We're not the only living beings who are experiencing this. Hello, come on in, welcome. So this evolutionary shift is actually what it's doing is it's taking the human species and the animal species as well and the plant species, all of Mother Earth, it's taking us through this evolutionary shift. We're going through a major period of time in evolution. So can we all agree, is anyone unclear that there is actually something so radical happening on planet Earth and beyond our known realm? It's so radical that we are going through a major blip in evolutionary history. Can we agree?
Yes.
So basically what this is doing is it's taking us as humans and it's forcing us, not really forcing us, but it is in a way to make a choice. And the choice isn't just one choice that we make. The choice is a continuous choice of will we choose the old way of existing or will we choose a new way of existing. The old way is based on every way we've lived, everything we've ever known and experienced. And the new way is a way of change. The change is the evolution. And this change is a choice, a decision, a conscious choice and decision to align more fully with source consciousness. And that source consciousness is a range of energetic frequencies that are based in love, peace, service to the collective, service to the greater good, instead of self-serving. This old way, self-service. Me, my, mine. All I care about is me. I don't care about the planet. I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about the animals. New way, service to the greater good, being of service to one another. So all these choices, choice to care about our environment, choice to care about our bodies, choice to care, to be considerate, to be forgiving, to align with higher frequencies of love. Yes? That's the choice point. And for those who choose not to go here, they end up staying in these, trapped in these lower frequency ranges of energy that are based in this old paradigm. What's the name for the old paradigm?
Third dimension.
Third dimension. So third dimension, does everyone know what third dimension is? Anyone not? Third dimension is the way we've been living. It's based in separation, separation from one another, separation from source, separation from angels, benevolence, separation from Earth. What's Earth? Is Earth a living being over here? Like, does anyone really care? Do developers care about the Earth these days? Like, that's a whole separate reality now, right? That separation is you're separate from your body, you're a victim. Your body gets cancer, it has nothing to do with you, you're a victim. You get raped, it has nothing to do with you, you're a victim. That's separation, right? In separation, you're not the cause of your neck pain. The bad bed is the cause of your neck pain. Certainly not anything you were thinking of. Like in separation, you're not the cause of the fact that you got stolen from. Some bad person is a thief and you're a victim, right? Or you're not the problem in your relationship. Your mother-in-law is. She was a bitch or whatever, right? That's all separation, right? That's a choice to continue playing that way. The government is bad. The government is corrupt over here. We're starting to see that because that's helping people to become more conscious that they need to make a big turn. This isn't working over here. So that's third dimensional paradigm, right? Everyone with me? So where are we going? What is this paradigm? This is a whole new paradigm, a whole new way of existing. What's this paradigm? 5D, right. Fifth dimensional reality. So in fifth dimensional reality, we start aligning with source. We come into unity consciousness because we start recognizing, I mean, we're in unity here. We start recognizing everyone and everything is connected. In fact, we're all aspects of this divine source, this one source of infinite love. We're aspects, and we can see and perceive ourselves in every other being. And we can start having these higher connections with other angelic, spirit guides, spirit doctor team, benevolent galactic shamans, intergalactic races, star family members, friends and animals who have crossed over. We're all psychic. All of our gifts open up. We're all telepathic. We're all healers as we begin to open up, access, and align with that. Yes? Make sense? So that's where everyone has the choice to go. Now, it's a choice. It's a fork in the road. So fork in the road is going on right now, has been going on easily since prior to 2012. That was the magnificent moment where it came to a culmination moment, where at that culminating moment, that was where the end of the old, the old paradigm could no longer continue to sustain itself. It would become unsustainable after 2012, which now we can see. It's unsustainable. We cannot, that's why you have people in that paradigm who are looking and teaching from that paradigm, from that set of belief systems, and what they're saying is we're gonna run out of water. We're gonna run out of our resources. Because they don't understand in this paradigm, everything renews, repairs, and regenerates, and gets healed. Because the light workers, star seeds, way showers, etc., understand how working with source will heal it all. But from here, they can't see that. So from here, things are looking pretty bad. But you have to make a choice, change your perspective. Make sense? So we know that everything effectively is really happening from within our consciousness. Over here, we're completely unconscious. We don't know what's going on. We're just trying to make money. We're just trying to get through our life. Life's getting hard. We're getting depressed. It's a struggle. There's addictions. There's codependency. There's lack. There's poverty. There's sickness. There's illness. There's aging. That's what's going on over here. That's our old paradigm. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Over here, we're transcending it. We can totally transcend it. We can start aligning with this divine source where all these absolutely crazy, unknown potentials exist. For example, what if we could clear away all of our aging beliefs and programs? What if that possibility, what if we don't have to live in poverty anymore once we align with infinite abundance, infinite potential? What if we can start coming into alignment with the source and realizing how we're all healers, we can all heal the earth, etc. Okay, so that's 5D. Yeah? Everyone with me? Okay, any more questions? Questions?
You said benevolent. What was it?
Benevolent.
What is that with?
Benevolent is loving, friendly.
But you said what was the next word after that?
I probably said something like benevolent beings in the non-physical realm. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, does anyone right now work with any angels, healers, masters, teachers, loved ones in the non-physical realm? Anyone an Akashic Records reader? I know we have some in the room. Yeah? Okay. Anyone actually a healer, like working as a healer? Okay, good. So you already know, you're already working with these beings. And these beings in the non-physical realm, they're real. It's just over here in third dimensional reality, people don't believe it's real because they're functioning from separation, right? And they don't know what's possible. And they think it's just woo-woo. So, okay, so this is the choice point. This is what's going on globally. This is what's known as Ascension. Ascension is the process by which we basically uproot ourselves disentangle ourselves, clear, heal, and resolve all of our own unconscious energetic interferences, our belief systems, our points of view, our perspectives, the things that keep us entangled and enmeshed in this third dimensional reality, entrapped in like a matrix of energetic entanglement. There's a matrix around this third dimensional reality, which has basically been cleared. Who clears it? Does anyone know who clears it? Grid workers. They're working with an energetic grid to clear and open up this grid so that people can get freed and liberated, right? Come on in. So these openings are allowing us to free and liberate ourselves and to make new choices, to re-anchor ourselves here. Now, in order to anchor yourself here, certain things need to happen. So this is really what this evening is about. What needs to happen is all the density that's trapped in our own unconscious has to be cleared and resolved. All the density that's keeping us stuck and entangled in this third dimensional reality gets lifted. That's why we want to do healing tonight. Right? The healing is that we clear that from within us and around us, because we're way more than physical. We're not aware of all those energetic entanglements that are within us and around us, keeping us stuck in our dramas and our traumas and our pain and our suffering. And the way we've been doing it in 3D, how do you do it in 3D? You suppress it and deny it with drugs and alcohol. No question. Suppress it and deny. You go to your therapist. You talk about it for a long time, but the talking never changes anything because it really doesn't. You just keep perpetuating the loop, right? Or you go to a doctor. What does a doctor do? Yeah, medicate you. Supplement and medicate you so that you don't feel it and you become numb to it. If you're numb to it, you can't get free from it. Hello, come on in.
Hi.
You can't liberate yourself if you're numb to it, right? So we actually have to become conscious of it in order to vibe in here. Now, what does it take to vibe and live in this reality? What's required for that?
Tolerance.
Love.
That's a point of view. It's not a wrong point of view. It's not wrong. It's just that it's a point of view, right? So one of the first things is, well, let me say, what it takes here is you need to be in harmony with a range of vibrations, which we already talked about. What are those range of vibrations? The base vibration is going to be a love-based vibration. So over here, what's the base vibration in third dimensional reality? Fear. So people in third dimensional reality are in harmony with fear. They're afraid. They don't know how they're going to pay their bills. They don't know how they're going to live. They don't know how they're going to survive. They don't know how they're going to get a job. They don't know how they're going to... This is a fear-based reality. And even if they don't know, even if they don't think they're afraid in that way, they're governed by things like worry. They're governed by things like, I'm worried. I was worried about you. I'm concerned about you. I don't know how it's going to work. That's all fear-based. They're governed by sadness. There's a lot of sadness here. They're governed by grief and sorrow. Now, I'm not saying you can't feel those things over here, but those things don't govern you. So over here, what governs you is the same stuff we were talking about. What governs you is what?
Love.
Love. Your choice to love. Your choice to forgive. Your choice. But it's not a choice you just make here. It becomes the embodiment. Your embodiment. And you can feel it because you move through your life feeling. Here you're a feeler. You're a feeler. You're a sensor. You're a sensing being. You're conscious of more than just what's going on. Over here it's the left analytical brain, right? You're figuring things out. You're thinking things. You're trying to make sense of things. Over here you're vibing with things. This vibe's really good. I'm gelling with this. I'm feeling good. This is feeling right. This is feeling light. This is feeling peaceful. This feels lovely. There's a lot more feminine energy here. This is governed by a patriarchy. Masculine energy. Force, domination, control. If you don't listen, I will put you in jail. If you don't follow the rules, you will get a ticket. If you don't pay your bills, you will get arrested. That kind of force is what governs here. And that's masculine energy. Nothing wrong with masculine energy. Masculine energy is creation. We create. I'm going to do, I'm going to do, I'm going to do. But people here have become doers, right? That is the governing energy there. Now here, it's a lot more feminine. Feminine allows. Feminine exists. Sometimes you can just exist. You stare up at the stars, you're like, oh, that feels so good. It's just so beautiful. Oh, it feels so good. Right? Feminine just allows. You go sit at the beach, maybe you talk to some plants, you're like, wow, am I really here in that tree? Tell me.
God, yes.
You're just okay. You're not counting time because you know what? You become more of an eternal being here. You become ageless. It is possible to clear aging programs. It is possible to clear aging beliefs, belief systems. It's possible. It's not only possible, it's probable. When you anchor into these frequency ranges that you're going to clear all these things that keep trapped in this matrix. Right? Now, if you're standing next to someone on the grocery store line and they're, you know, completely unconscious of this stuff, you can kind of tell because maybe they're just talking about the terrible, horrible things that happened on the news last night. Or, you know, the horrendous mass shootings going on, right? Now over here you have great compassion. You really care. It's not that you don't care. It's just you realize that's a storyline that they're anchored into within that matrix that's energetically entangling them, and they're believing and buying into it, but it's not your reality at all. In fact, over here you realize you have great power to make a difference, actually, a better improvement for all of humanity here. So you're not going to let yourself get entangled in that story because you actually, as you align with Source, you realize, oh, there is an agenda for gun control. The people who don't want anyone to have guns control the media. So they're actually feeding those news stories into the media. They're actually manipulating stories. They're actually creating things with what's called Manchurian candidates. I'm making suggestions here that are true. You don't have to believe them or buy into them, but you start to realize these things over here and you go, I refuse to become part of the problem by giving my life force there, because over here you actually become aware there's actually beings who live here who are feeding off the energy of pain and suffering. They need that frequency in order for them to continue to live. And I'm going to be over here anchored in this love because I know that love can transmute all of that. I'm going to be the solution rather than the problem. Make sense? So that's the choice. That's the choice we're all doing. Doesn't mean we're not like getting pulled into this every once in a while or working through our issues here. It just means we are much more able to elevate ourselves out of this quicker, easier, more gracefully, and remind ourselves this is where we're anchoring into. Make sense? All right. And there's a couple other things I'm going to say, and then any questions, comments? Anyone want to? No? Okay. So this is what's one of the things I have found that's most important in terms of really anchoring in here, is that over here we are not sovereign. So what's the definition of sovereign?
Free.
Free. It's a kind of freedom. But it's sovereign means self-reliant freedom. So over here we're not sovereign. We aren't even free. We're being told we're free, but we're really not. You're governed by fear, domination, control, manipulation, and forces that actually know that they're doing that, right? So we're not sovereign. These beings have basically taken dominion over the sovereigns and claim dominion. So part of the thing we need to do is claim sovereignty in order to get out of here. We need to start claiming sovereignty. Now, what does it mean to claim sovereignty?
Freedom.
Break away.
Yes. So over here, you're basically unconsciously giving your power to I'm going to use the word global elites, even though that's not all they are. And you're following the laws that the global elites set for you. They tell you the laws. They tell you there's a free voting system. I'm saying you, but it's all of us. And we have to follow those laws. We're not sovereign. So over here, we actually are sovereign, but we have to follow higher laws, laws of the universe. So we have to become aware of these laws. So that's part of what I was guided tonight to share, is these laws, because most people are not aware of these laws. So there are universal laws. These laws still govern this reality. But when you're not claiming your sovereignty, you're not conscious of these laws. These laws exist on a 6-dimensional plane. So we're anchoring into 5D. We're still governed by a 6-dimensional plane of these universal laws. The universal laws are conscious of themselves. Everything's conscious. And once we become working with them, they work for us even more consciously. And that's where we have a lot of great power to make a change for the better. So fifth dimensional reality is oneness, unity, consciousness based in the frequencies of love. Sixth dimension, universal laws hang out there. Also sacred geometry. Who's into sacred geometry? Patterns of sacred geometry? Okay, all those patterns are basically as conscious. They are conscious of themselves. Flower of Life is conscious of itself as a sacred geometrical pattern. It knows it's creating perfection. It knows it's expanding consciousness through its repeating circle patterns. You guys know that pattern? Flower of Life? If you don't, it's all right, right? But that exists on a six-dimensional plane. So we want to access, and there's way beyond 6 dimensions, right? We have gazillions of dimensions that we can access. But let's stick with the laws for now. So one of the first, biggest, most important law is the law of one, which really isn't a law. It just is, right? That law of one says ultimately there is one creator, one source, and that source, we are all aspects. We are aspects of it, yeah? And it's in, through, and around every one of us. And whatever is that one available through that one, we have access to. So if you can dream it, it's part of the one. You can access it, you can create it. All right, now, let's go to the next most famous law is what? That is, but that's not where I was going. Free will. So the law of free will is also known as the law of intent, consent, and authority. Yeah? So basically what it says is what you give your attention to is what you give your intent to, is what you give your authority to. That's what you're going to create. That's the law of intent, consent, and authority. So if you're watching the news, and the news is telling you there's going to be robots in your future, there's going to be implants put in your skin in the future. Right here, that's a good way to control people. Hello, come on in, come on in. You can understand how they're basically persuading your consciousness, because if you're looking at the news and it's feeding you that information, you're giving your intent, consent, and authority there, right? Saying you, but I mean all of us. So in order for us to claim our sovereignty, part of it is to recognize, I must reclaim my intent, consent, and authority. See where I'm going with this? We have to start working with the laws consciously. So you start claiming your authority, you start claiming your sovereignty, and you say, I'm going to become a sovereign free will being. Doesn't mean you'll break the laws here. You're not going to be in opposition to them. It means you're going to start following the laws of the universe, because they're higher laws. You have to, in order to be sovereign, you're basically saying, I trust myself to follow the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe are, you can't break them. They're unbreakable. They're not like a law of gravity is a natural law that can be broken. You leave our atmosphere, gravity doesn't happen. That's a natural law. But it doesn't matter. It's a law in our reality, so if I drop something, gravity's going to pull it down to the earth, right? That's a law. Whether you believe in it or not, doesn't matter if you believe in gravity, it's real. Well, the universal laws are like that too. It doesn't matter if you believe in them, they're real. But claiming sovereignty effectively means, okay, I am going to be sovereign, now I'll follow the laws of the universe. With me? So, we understand there's this one, law of one, we understand there's a law of free will, which means now I have to choose, what am I going to create with my future? And the future for humanity. Am I going to create a future where we're going to World War III? Am I going to believe that? Am I going to allow that? Over here, as conscious creators, we start saying, we will not allow this. That's not part of this future. What we will do is invite as many people into love and peace and unity as possible. I refuse to believe that reality. Not going to go into denial or struggle. I'm going to recognize, over here I'm a creator. I create my reality. And I create the reality that the collective gets to share. Love-based frequencies cannot support, will not support heaviness and density of fear. They do what? They polarize. That's a law of polarity. That's a universal law. So things that don't vibrate in harmony with love cannot be existing on the same frequency. Law of polarity. It's another law. See, when you understand the laws, you start getting powerful. Is this making sense? Everyone with me here? Is this helpful?
Is this the third law?
Yeah, I mean, we're not necessarily putting them in order, but yes. Law of polarity. So you start realizing, in this range of frequency where this choice point is, where most humans are basically kind of being forced, for lack of a better word, to choose. When I anchor into these frequencies, I cannot have that experience. This range of frequency will bottom that out. It becomes a separate, what we call timeline. I'll explain timelines a little better in a moment. Let's stay with me. So it's going to polarize these experiences. Does this make sense? It's a little out there, but it makes sense. We right now in our reality are not, in my reality, I have no World War III. None. Does not exist in my reality. Now, I don't know if someone else in some parallel reality is having that. I really don't know. I don't have any idea. It's not for me to know. But I know this reality where we are all going to in our evolutionary process does not support that. It cannot function in these frequencies. Does that make sense? So that's why right now, anyone have had the experience recently where you have like a fight with somebody and then it just sort of falls up, the relationship falls apart really fast? Anyone have something like that, or a problem, something doesn't go well and just suddenly drops away? Yeah, it can't be supported anymore. When things are not jiving, vibing in harmony, they just drop away. It's like it just didn't work out. Make sense? All right, so let's stay with the laws. Okay, so we go to the law of one, the law of intent, consent, and authority. We mentioned the law of polarity. Okay, so you said the law of attraction. I don't want to get to that one yet. Let's go to the law of cause and effect. So cause and effect still exists here. Still, we know that is a real law. But over here, law of cause and effect gives you power. Why? Let's say you want more clean water. You want water free from fluoride and toxins. Let's say you go to the law, oh, I forgot the law of truth. That's one of my favorites. Let me go to cause and effect after law of truth. So the law of truth, I love the law of truth. It is one of the laws that works through me all the time. Why? Because I'm always asking for the truth on things. Give me the highest, clearest, purest truth I can possibly have on anything that I don't know. I ask all the time. I never even knew there was a law of truth. I just kept asking.